here is a little bit of a history man. Chandra Bahadur THAPA is Nepal's first ever medalist at an IBA World Championship. Made history by progressing through his quarterfinals yesterday, where he bested Mehdi Kazemi of Iran, a fast twitch, pot shot punch picker. Very impressive indeed. 3 wins out of 3 so far after beginning his tournament in the round of 32. In the round of 16, he beat Dadi Yegorian, the number 6 seed of Armenia.
And now would you please welcome his opponent in the blue corner,
yesterday.
From Kazakhstan, Saken BIBOSSINOV.
His opponent needs no introduction if you're a fan of IBA-style boxing, because it is Saken BIBOSSINOV, installed here as the tournament's number 7 seed, the 2021 world champion at flyweight, Olympic bronze medalist at flyweight. In the 2024 Olympic Games, he lost to his formidable and fierce rival Hassan Boyduzmatov of Kazakhstan. World Championship bronze medalist in 2019. He's trying to go at least one better than that here today. He won't want a full set of medals either. He's got his design squarely on a second World Championship gold. And in the quarterfinal stage, he beat
from
the
Morocco,
number 2
Moldova,
seed,
Kyrgyzstan,
of
Italy,
Zambia.
and Afghanistan.
Took the first round, despite being scored upon heavily to the body, and that laid the foundation for the rest of the bout. But Mwengo Mwali worked him very effectively in the opening round, using his long, accurate power punches. And what a wonderful moment for Nepal. And you may recall when we were in Kielce in 2021 for the World Youth Championships, we got quite friendly with the Nepalese coaches. And they were telling us how they were investing in the program, and here those dividends being paid off with their first ever medalist.
No, it's fantastic. It's really, really good to see. I do remember that. It was a really good tournament to cover. Everybody was so enthusiastic because it was not quite deepest COVID. We were just coming out of it, but just seeing that collection of athletes all in one place again was just fantastic, wasn't it? I also remember BIBOSSINOV from the 2021 World Championships. I do believe he got Hassan Boy in the first preliminary round. He came back to Zmartov, didn't he? Terrible draw.
That's right.
And he beat him. And
because he was in the pro ranks, as you say, he came back, no seedings, so 2 of the very best in the business meeting in the early preliminary round. It was BIBOSSINOV who got the better of it on that occasion. On the Olympic stage last year, as mentioned, they met at the quarterfinal stage, and it was Hassan Boy who prevailed en route to his 2nd Olympic title. Well, there is the history maker from Nepal, Chandra Bahadur THAPA. Saken BIBOSSINOV needs no introduction if you're a fan of IBA boxing. So an intriguing contest in store here, because this man's so correct, so many angles. How will he deal with the blazing explosivity of the man in red, Chandra Bahadur THAPA?
Round 1.
So we're underway then. The 2nd semi-final in the men's 54-kilogram bantamweight division between boxers from Kazakhstan and Nepal. The orthodox boxer, just adopting the cross-arm guard out of the orthodox stance, is Chandra Bahadur THAPA. The southpaw, twitching just on the edge of range, is Saken BIBOSSINOV of Kazakhstan. There are those quick feet I was alluding to, as THAPA just seeking to back his man up. He's got that right hand locked and loaded and ready to extend in a flash. But he's a really good mover around the boxing ring. He's the tall, lean figure BIBOSSINOV, but looking to apply pressure. Not quite getting into range, but he did try to make it a multi-phase attack. Now BIBOSSINOV retreating to the ropes, but covering up effectively behind his gloves and forearms. Hard right hand driven into the body. It came overhand, and that is typical of the way in which THAPA goes about his craft. Didn't quite take his feet with him there. And that was successful over in ring B in the preliminary rounds, but he's in with a masterful boxer here, and he may have to make a slight adaptation to what is proving to be really profitable so far. But you can see the man's fast twitch movements that get him into range when seemingly out of range, but BIBOSSINOV negating it by good use of the feet and employing the layback. Scoring left hand to the body from BIBOSSINOV, trying a bull rush off the ropes is THAPA, leaving his feet there with a leaping left hook, but not quite finding the target. And again, we talked about whether boxers focus on themselves or try to make adaptation for their opponents. THAPA's trying what's been successful for him during this tournament, but here in this semi-final has been made to miss by millimeters. One of the left hands in that 4-shot cluster did get through from BIBOSSINOV. So he's probably going to have to rethink a little bit here or take his feet with him to get into range, because the leaping lefts, like a character from a Marvel superhero movie, have just fallen a little short. Now he does get up close and work the body effectively, scoring beneath the elbows of BIBOSSINOV. Quick feet to hunt his man and pin him to the ropes once again, and does score with a little bushel of punches to the body, and he's keeping the attack going. BIBOSSINOV square on the ropes, inviting pressure. Plenty of those shots were blocked by the glove defenses of the man in blue, but some of them did get through downstairs. So BIBOSSINOV on the front foot in search of his get-back, looking to explode. That counter right hand off the ropes is THAPA, but BIBOSSINOV hip to it and looking to continue to measure his man with straights. Well, he's in the corner and he's been picked off and scored upon effectively. BIBOSSINOV embellishing it, raising that left hand to the sky, and a little bit of a skip back to the space of center ring, because he knows those scoring shots without reply were perhaps the best quality of the first 3 minutes.
We've got the kind of stylistic matchup here that you see quite often, haven't we? Because you've got a taller fighter who can keep it on the outside in BIBOSSINOV, who can throw that 1-2, then pull that weight onto the back foot, dip those knees, throw that long left hand to the body, which I think is always a really good shot, and then just pull back out of range. THAPA's got to try and get close. He did it towards the end of the round there and worked his hands well, but as you said, most of them were taken on the gloves, and other times he's springing in from a long way out. And firstly, the balance goes, but secondly, he can see it coming, can't he, BIBOSSINOV? He can see it coming a mile away, so he's got to find a way to get onto the inside here, THAPA, where his feet, as you rightly said, are still underneath him. Move those shoulders a bit more, move that head a little bit more. It's not an easy task, but it's one that he'll have had to undertake a good amount of times in his career, and 10 lines across the board there for BIBOSSINOV, and you can understand why.
So as we move into the second round, Chandra Bahadur THAPA has got to try and do something different here, because BIBOSSINOV has made him miss on a consistent basis. He did have some success when he got his man right here, and he's looking to repeat that by, well, trying to target the head. But of course, if you invest in those body shots in a bid to bring the hands down, it could well leave the head open later on. But he is getting busy, and that's good to see. And his feet are in range, and he does score with 2 good hooks beneath the elbows. But so composed under fire is BIBOSSINOV. Back to the space of center ring. And he's getting inside and scoring effectively down to the body of BIBOSSINOV. It's a long, lean torso that the former world champion is looking to defend. Good right hand to the body in response from BIBOSSINOV. But by conceding his height and reach in the manner in which he's doing, BIBOSSINOV bringing THAPA right into this second round in many respects. There you can get it back to that type of territory and score with a left cross as he just did. Not much power on it, but perfect placement to render it a point-scoring shot. Then looking for the bolo backhand to the body. THAPA looking to snake that overhand right in between the gloves of BIBOSSINOV. Remember, he conceded the first round unanimously. Counter left hand not too far away from BIBOSSINOV. Nice defensive work with the right glove from the man in red. So THAPA's breathing through an open mouth here now. His burst of punches to the body have all come in full-blooded fashion. Circling his man and almost getting behind him. He's moving those feet so rapidly as BIBOSSINOV. And a rather crude forward lunge from THAPA. And I think this, well, let's see how long this, you've got to stop watching, Andy. How long is it going to take to retie these shoelaces? Because THAPA's mouth is wide open, and he shouldn't be receiving coaching either. So a whole bunch of stuff going on in that red corner as the right bootlaces were given some running repairs. Action resumes, and BIBOSSINOV looking to re-establish his control of long range. Nice check right hand from BIBOSSINOV, just spinning off the line, leaving THAPA swinging at the open air here at the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Center. There's a nice right hand landed, catching BIBOSSINOV as he sought to disengage. Did take his feet with him and got through with the right hand lead, THAPA. But look at BIBOSSINOV measuring his man now with that long bridge of a right jab and bringing through the southpaw left. Controlling the space effectively is BIBOSSINOV. There's that right hand lead in between the gloves once again. And there's plenty of activity from the hands of THAPA through this passage of the round, but he's catching the gloves and forearms an awful lot as that check left hand is scored twice in quick succession from BIBOSSINOV, spearing it in, and he getting the better of that attempted trade-off. Oh, beautiful left hand slung beneath the right elbow of THAPA. Well, THAPA having more success in the second round compared to the first, but I still think he's the man in blue.
He finished strong, didn't he, there, BIBOSSINOV? THAPA had a good first half of the round. He did what we were saying he needed to do, which was find a way onto the inside without just jumping in from distance. And he did that. He got up close and he did some good work, but he put an awful lot into it. And we noticed when he came back to have his bootlace tied that he was sucking the air in, wasn't he? And in the second half of the round, BIBOSSINOV having kind of weathered a storm to an extent, if you like, just re-established that jab, that 1-2, and we could just see it there and regain control. And a problem he's got, THAPA, as well, is that when he does get close, it's not that easy to get through with the punches because BIBOSSINOV's arms are that long that when he tucks up, there aren't really that many gaps. And again, it's 10 lines across the board there for BIBOSSINOV, which is a bit heartbreaking for THAPA, to be honest, because he gave it everything there and it still wasn't quite enough.
Your third and final round.
So we move into the third round, and Chandra THAPA, who's enjoyed such a wonderful tournament so far. This is fourth bout of the tournament. Cannot fault the man's industry, nor indeed his effectiveness or imagination, because he's been quite creative with his attacks. You see him trying to pull the gloves down of BIBOSSINOV and find a home for his punches. Move that is as old as boxing itself, but popularized more latterly in the 21st century by Vasyl Lomachenko. Or was that the one he adjusted last time? I really can't recall. I think it was the right boot that got adjusted. Hands on the ropes, big lungfuls of oxygen being taken in, but it's also a respite for BIBOSSINOV, of course, but his breathing appearing as comfortable as it was at the opening bell. So just looking to shoot out those straight shots as an effective line of defense, BIBOSSINOV, but now THAPA back into his preferred wheelhouse. You see him trying to prise open those defenses once again, as though he's trying to open a shell. And you have to credit the man for his ability to get to the inside in rounds 2 and 3. Nice movement in the pocket by pivoting around the clock face from BIBOSSINOV, and look at that. When he employs that movement, it makes it very difficult for THAPA to keep up with him, because his movement seems to come in a straight line like a sprinter exploding out of the blocks, but he's seeking to get over the front foot here and close the distance with clusters of punches. But again, BIBOSSINOV just happy to employ clock-killing tactics here, because I think that effort, talking of sprinters, it was very much an anaerobic exercise during that passage of the round where he came bustling forwards. Thereafter, he's had to take a breather to allow his energy levels to recover. But that puts him in an even more invidious position, because the clock is not his friend, and it lends him or sends him ever closer into the realm, ever deeper into the realm of requiring a stoppage, because he's trailing 20 points to 18 for all 5 judges. And it's only as though he can work in spurts here in this third and final round. And BIBOSSINOV happy to enter bout management mode and just kill the clock. THAPA trying to pin his man against the ropes. Leaping left hook leads off his attack, but BIBOSSINOV, too cute for that, just ties him up and turns the tables. So again, BIBOSSINOV looking busy, doing not very much at all. And how about that for a counter left cross? It stopped THAPA in his tracks, and as he continued the attack, by the time he arrived at the target, because he was punching from out of range, had to claim his man and give himself a little breather. Gas tank running low here for THAPA. BIBOSSINOV just reasserting his authority in the closing stages of the round, spearing his man with straight shots. A very good display indeed for the 2021 world champion Saken BIBOSSINOV. He returned to a world championship final in pursuit of his second title, and it looks as though he's a man on a mission. He gave it absolutely everything, did Chandra THAPA, and he should be delighted with the history-making run he's made through to the podium. He and his coaches, they'll come away with a matter of $75,000 US. That's what the bronze medalists receive here at Dubai 2021. 50% for him, 25% for the coach, 25% for the Red Federation, and that money is going to go a very long way for their continued investment, which is reaping dividends such as THAPA.
It absolutely will, and he's got nothing to regret there. He gave it absolutely everything.
After 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. For your winner by unanimous decision and advance into the final, in the blue corner from Kazakhstan, Saken BIBOSSINOV!
Wonderful to see that respect between a man who has been one of the very best in the business for a very long time and a new emerging talent in the form of Chandra THAPA. He comes away with World Championship bronze, receiving his prizes now, prizes of the medal and the mascot and the check, of course, is Chandra THAPA. And the moment being shared with the man who has just got the better of him. A lovely moment, magnificent tournament for Chandra THAPA. 4 contests, 3 wins. We'll see BIBOSSINOV again the day after tomorrow, where he's gone through to the gold medal bout, where he will face off against the 19-year-old from Russia, Vyacheslav Rogozin. Youth against experience. What a contest that promises to be. Wonderful tournament for Nepal. Kazakhstan go on.
That is going to be a great fight, because it's the same dynamic we talked about there, isn't it? You've got the taller, longer ranger fighter BIBOSSINOV and the shorter fighter in Rogozin, who's got that skill set that, with all respect to THAPA doesn't quite have. So that is going to be a brilliant stylistic clash. How is Rogozin going to get up tight and get a hold of BIBOSSINOV? Basically, is what we're going to have to look at. That's what we've got to look forward to on Sunday. And he's the kind of fighter, because of his experience, he's so well set up. The balance is there, the range is there, he locks on nice and early. He knows exactly what he is and what he's trying to do. And when you come up against somebody like that, who's as well drilled and as composed as he is, it's very difficult to knock them out of their rhythm.